Cheryl Vollrath noticed something was wrong with her back in April 2002.
Couldn't get dressed one day, and I went to see a doctor, and he thought I'd thrown my back out or my neck out, so he sent me for an MIR, gave me some painkillers, but he didn't refer me to a neurologist at the time.
Because Vollrath worked at a computer all day, muscle strain was thought to be the cause of the problem. However, 2 months later, that diagnosis quickly changed when it was discovered that Vollrath had a brain tumor.
What I remember is I went into the washroom, told the girls I was going to go splash cold water in my face. I didn't feel right. And I woke up in the hospital. I had collapsed and had a seizure in the bathroom.
Vollrath's brain tumor was behind her right eye and the size of a grapefruit. She had been told it had been growing for 10 years.
I thought they were crazy. I just like, how can you walk around with because they, not only told me I had a tumor, they told me how big it was, right? What I didn't understand was how could I have something that large in my head and not know it?
According to the Brain Tumour Foundation of Canada, an estimated 27 people a day are diagnosed with brain tumors.
The statistics show that there's 55,000 people living with brain tumors in Canada and that 10,000 are diagnosed every year.
This PSA was created so the Brain Tumour Foundation of Canada could drive home the message. Brain tumors can happen to anyone at any time.
They don't care where you live or what your background is. They're unpredictable.
Looking back, Vollrath said she had vague symptoms. She was unusually clumsy and had frequent sinus infections.
The tumor was pressing on my sinus cavity, which I didn't know at the time. So allergies and that kind of thing are just normal, and I didn't think anything of that. So there were indicators, but just none that were predominant enough for me to think that I had a brain tumor.
Vollrath was lucky. The tumor was completely removed during an 8-hour surgery. The doctors had to put 4 metal plates into her head.
The tumor was so large, it took up all this room in my head, so when they took it out, my forehead would have caved in. So they put 4 titanium plates in my head.
After surgery, Vollrath suffered from anxiety for a year.
I think it was just the initial shock of what had actually happened, right? And I didn't really absorb it, until after, sort of. There wasn't no time to process it, really. That was the big thing, right? So that was probably why I was anxious for a while after.
About 2.5 years ago, Vollrath started to develop seizures. The area operated on had scarred over.
What had happened was I had a seizure one day when I was with my daughter. She took me to the hospital. They sent me for some tests, and what they found was the scar tissue from the surgery had hardened and caused some spiking, I guess they called it, and that's what was causing the seizure.
Vollrath controls her seizures with daily medication. She's grateful her brain tumor was found.
I was at work in a safe place. I wasn't on the road or anything like that. So fortunate for that, and that they were able to get at it once they diagnosed it.
Funding is helping to diagnose tumors faster and surgeries becoming more efficient. The Spring Sprint is the Brain Tumour Foundation's largest fundraiser. This year, 20 cities across Canada are taking place. Edmonton's Spring Sprint will take place on June 2nd.
It's a day of gathering, and the group is just charged with energy, and we've all been fundraising, and this is the grand finale towards this big event. So it's a very, very fulfilling day. You know that when you participate in it that you're doing something that's really worthwhile.
Vollrath is confident her tumor won't come back.
I just got my results in March, my 10-year mark, and there's no indication of that tumor coming back.
Last year, the Brain Tumour Foundation's Spring Sprint raised $84,000, and this year they're hoping to surpass that. Tammy Karatchuk, Shaw TV, Capital Region.